Hi, I'm John Karn, and today I will be going over the pick and place Fanuc robot system that I've been working on for the past few months. This process can be used with one operator watching multiple different machines, and what it does is a system like this can be used to either count or organize various objects and put them together as needed or take them apart depending on how the process is working. Just having one operator do this process for multiple machines frees up that many more operators to do other tasks that is more beneficial and more productive for them as a whole. Looking at the control panel here on the left hand side of it, we have a red mushroom head e-stop with a red reset button. There's a couple different e-stop buttons on here that's connected to a safety relay with the red reset that will turn back on that safety relay, allowing power to flow through to the outputs. Moving further down here, we have a green square start button. In this program, the start button will reset any faults in the Fanuc robot that it is able to, and then hitting it a second time will start the program. The red button would be a stop, which will turn off the conveyors and stop the Fanuc robot when it's done with its cycle. Below that is a green light. This is the system enable light, which will turn on when the system is running. So here the operator is going to press the green square button 2 times, which will start the process. 1 and 2, there we go. So here the washer is going to go past the inductive sensor, but it will hit the photosensor. This will turn on a solenoid and push it down the chute. Since the since the pegs are made out of metal, they will hit a inductive sensor at the very top, which won't turn on the solenoid and allow them to keep going and go down the slide. As we continue on the second conveyor, there is a inductive sensor in the middle along with the capacitive sensor. When the peg goes past these, it tells the Fanuc robot what objects it's supposed to be picking up. And once it reaches the end of the line of the conveyor here, the robot will know what to pick up, and it will wait for the fiber sensor to tell it if it's okay or not to drop the object. There, use this first program to pick up both objects and drop them, and the second peg here it is only using, or it's using the second program, so it's doing a lot less in order to do the same thing. Looking at the teaching pendant here on line 55 is the main program. This is what is running the Fanuc robot for the most part. Looking at the main screen here of the program, what we're looking for is the input for the robot with the 124. This is just to turn on the robot in general. So if a system is enabled, then it's going to run this program, and then we're going to run John 1 or John 2, depending on if it is catches the input of 122 or 121. Just depends on the process that is selected. So John 1 would be the peg and the washer, and the John 2 would be just the peg. And if neither of them are turned on, it's going to hit the jump label at the bottom, and it's going to jump all the way back to line 1 with the LBL, and it's going to start all over. And if the system's running anyway, it's just going to go past the line 3 because it should be running anyway. looking at the subroutines here with the first one, this is the one that's going to be for both the washer and the peg. Right away, it's going to send the Fanuc robot is going to send an output, but the PLC itself will receive an input for this process. So line one, there's that output. We're going to wait, just allowing that peg to make it all the way to the end of the conveyor because that's the exact point we want it to. And line three, we're going to open up the gripper because in order to pick up an object, it needs to be open. It's going to move down, and then we have a fine point where we want it to go at the end. And once it's to the bottom there, with line 6, it's going to close the gripper, which will latch onto it tight. And line 7, we want to just give it a second there just to make sure it has a good grip on it and it's not going to just fly up as soon as it's told that it is closed. So 7 or 8, 9, and 10, this is where it's going to follow along and go all the way to the conveyor 1 again to drop the object. And we're just going to wait for 123. And what 123 is that fiber sensor at the beginning of conveyor 1, just like, hey, it's okay to drop it here. This is a safe place that it's not going to screw it up on. And the rest of the process, it's going to look very much like the same thing, basically because it's just going to drop it at a different, or it's going to pick it up at a different place than before. Now the John 2 program, that's basically the same thing as the end of the first program. Only this time we turn on the output 122, which is going to signal back to the PLC. Moving on from there, we have the HMI screen. Right away here, we're on default with the login screen, and not a whole lot that we are able to do besides just logging in. Moving on, we're going to log into the janitor, which the janitor is able to go to the alarm screen. Not a whole lot extra there. It's very simple. The janitor is able to acknowledge the alarms and just to show that one of the users saw it and we don't want them messing with this program too much. So you're going to go back over to the login screen again. You're going to log out. From there, we're going to go over to the operator screen, which the operator is the main user of this, so they're going to have a way more options to do things than that of the janitor. So right away here, we have red circles along. So once we hit the start button, the conveyors are going to turn green, and we have a green system enable light there. So as the system goes along, what it's going to do is every time the Fanuc robot picks up an object, it's going to count what it has there. So along with this, it was able to pick up a peg, so we added 1 to that. So hitting the stop button here is going to turn off the system enable, and the conveyor is going to shut back off. Going to the alarms, we're able to clear the alarms here, not a whole lot extra. On the right side of the screen, there's some empty space. So what's going to pop up there is if there's anything to reset, including that washer chute there. One of the issues that it seems to have is every once in a while, washer won't go through the process correctly. So what it's going to do is that reset button will pop up and the operator is able to reset it as needed. And going back to login screen, we're going to log out and go over to the supervisor. So the supervisor isn't, they don't have a whole lot extra that they're able to do, but it's still an important role that is needed just to have uh, more control over the process with someone higher up. So this one, the main thing is that they can reset the count. So once they get the count at the end of the day, they can reset it for the next day and just clear it out once they get their count for how many objects have gone through for the day. And go through, we can clear out all of these alarms here.